We're live. Gonna let our Telegram group know. What are you guys up to? Just letting our group know. There. What are you guys up to? F chat. F chat, good to see you. Good to see you, F chat. F chat. You weren't in the last like live stream or two. You were sadly missed. F chat. Cigar, what's going on, dude? Cigar, I think you're like you're possibly Cigar, I think you're possibly the most consistent follower I have in terms of like not just the YouTube but also the Instagram live streams. I've seen you, I believe, in quite a few Instagram live streams that I've done. Yeah, unless there's another cigar. You're like, that's not me. Well, there's another fucking cigar out there then who's been in my Instagram live streams. That's what I have to say. Nakia, what's going on? You were missed yesterday. Nakia, you were missed. HUD, good to see you. You're not first, you're fourth. Jinty, good to see you. What's going on, Jinty? What are you up to? What are you up to, Jinty? What are you up to? Yusef, how you doing, man? F chat, I was getting ripped. Subby, hello. HUD, I've read 10 pages of HEMOC PDF. It's amazing. It's good PDF. You know, it's not in chart format. I started rewriting the HEMOC PDF back in like, I don't know, early April, the same way like I redid the cardiopulmonary gastro with all the charts and stuff. But it was just like way too boring for me. Like I did like a solid, possibly like, I don't know, 12 plus pages of like revamping the HEMOC. And then I was just like, nah, I'm not going to do this because the current HEMOC PDF is like really good already. And I was just like, I'm just reorganizing the same fucking shit and it's boring for me. And so I just decided not to do it anymore. And like ever since, I haven't been doing PDF stuff. Yeah, I have no intention of like touching any like PDFs, doing any more PDF stuff until like at least the fall. I need like a big fucking break from that stuff. Zachariah, good to see you. Yeah, you sent me a message somewhere. I don't know if it was on like Instagram or where you sent it. But it like I just told you, and then you posted in the Telegram group, and then I said yes, you can come to the live stream to answer it. People have sent me like DMs today with med questions, and I've just deleted the DMs. Like someone sent me a DM on Telegram, I just deleted the DM, like you know, and then they had the audacity. This is always a good one. They had the audacity to like message again, like I don't know, an hour later with a question mark. Like go fuck yourself with your little question mark. And then I just deleted and blocked them. Literally blocked them. I didn't like look into who it was, but I recognized the thumbnail vaguely, and it was like an actual follower. And I was just like, I don't care. I just literally blocked them because I'm like, I don't need your little like mousy fucking DMs, especially with your question mark. You got to have some fucking EQ. Okay, it goes both ways. People get salty both fucking directions. You get salty because you're like Mike's an asshole. He doesn't value his community. He doesn't value me as a follower, and he's not going to address my little mousy USMLE question. But you got to have fucking EQ and think like, well, it's possible he gets asked the same dumb questions 50 times a day. Doesn't want to answer your little mousy question. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Dr. Mike, long time no chat. It's Yazid. It hasn't been that long, Yazid. Hasn't been like that crazy long. I mean, did you change the name? Did you change the spelling of your name? I feel like there was another Yazid in here. But I mean, how many Yazids could there be? You know what I'm saying? Div, what's going on? Paria, good to see you, Paria. Good to see you again. Daniel, good to see you, Daniel. Mwambi. Hi, it's time. Is it wise to do step 2 CK before step 1 as an IMG? Terrible fucking idea. I've said never do that. Because you got to maximize your score on CK, don't you? Everything comes down to your CK score. Everything you do comes down to your CK score. So if you take step 1 before 2CK, you will absolutely score higher on 2CK when you get there. So you just be shortchanging yourself if you take step 2CK before step 1. Some students will say, or doctors, they'll say, well, I'm fresher on the clinical stuff, so shouldn't I get step 2CK out of the way first? No, as I said, it's a bad fucking idea. Because what's going to happen is you're going to start preparing for step 1. Let's say hypothetically you take 2CK first, you'll start preparing for step 1 after the fact, and you'll be learning like basic stuff. And you're like, well, clearly, if I knew this during step 2, I would have had a higher score. So, I mean, that's just like, always do step 1 first. There's a reason why there's a sequence. There's a reason why it's called step 1 and step 2 in that order. F chat, I missed you too, man. Big D energy. Cigar Patel. That's right. You retract that fucking message. Zachariah, Ismail. People like, they write, when you guys come into this chat, like one of you will be like, I'm first. Oh my God, I'm first. Like, it's like a race to be first. There should also be a fucking race, like who's first to retract their dumb little message, right? Let's retract our messages. Zachariah okay, so here you are with your, I'm just gonna let other people know real quick about this live stream. I only posted in our Telegram group. There we go. Zachariah, took it, made me 20, got 169, and you said that in this situation I do a UWorld incorrect. That is correct. I studied UWorld offline, and I don't know what my incorrects are. My eligibility period is the 1st October, December 31st. Okay, the good news is you don't have to sit anytime soon because you're not ready to sit. But yes, you have to go back to QBank for a significant amount of time. I mean, I understand you maybe were curious as to where you sit, and that's why you took 20 early. Don't take another NBME anytime soon. You need to do an online QBank then. Okay, I mean, okay, you don't have any corrects, so you could just do Amboss online now, right? You could do Amboss online. I've said I don't necessarily want you to do a second full pass at UWorld. In your case, your score is really fucking low, so you could probably do an entire full pass at UWorld again. But there's just too many questions. I've said I don't want that. So I would just go to Amboss now. That's what I would do. I would just go to Amboss, and you're going to go through the entirety of Amboss. So you're talking like August, September, October. I mean, it's a long fucking time away. I would say you could just do 40 questions a day. That's the minimum amount I say to do, 40 per day. And then you're going to do, and that's in the morning, untimed tutor random. And then you're going to do my PDFs and my YouTube MCQs in the afternoon and evening. You clearly haven't done any of that yet, Zachariah. I was friends with a Zachariah when I was living in Boston. It's funny because I told this story already. I was 22, and then I was at some bar with a 27-year-old, and he and I we approached these two chicks. Like someone asked about this like way back, but his name was actually Zachariah. Interestingly, I've never met any other Zachariahs in my entire life. Literally, only one Zachariah ever. You're the second Zachariah. But I mean, you got to do all of QBank. Okay, I think 40 per day. Do my PDFs, do my YouTube MCQs. You haven't done that stuff yet. You haven't. So you got to do that. And then we'll see how you go. I'll have you redo NVMe 20 when you come out the other end of QBank. And we're not going to care about we're not going to care about your score. You'll say, well, I already did it. Of course. You'll get your 79%, 80%, whatever it is, because you've done it already. It's fine. Just review it just go through it the best you can over a couple days. And then you're going to do maybe 21. And that will be the real litmus test at that point as to where you're at. Right. And I want to see greater than, ideally, the fact that you've already 2 passes of QBank, UWorld, and then Amboss. Hopefully you're above the pass level at that point, 197. That's what I want to see. Ibrahim, good to see you for the first time in this chat in ages. You dipped in maybe 3 weeks ago. How's it going, dude? I'm hitting the gym now. Okay, well, I'm just talking to my fucking self then, because you dip in, you dip out. Nakia, missed you too. Zachariah, Ismail, okay. I want to plan to increase my score based on your PDFs and audio QBanks, and I don't know where to start from. Well, I just gave you a cursory overview of what you can do. In terms of actual day-by-day plans, exactly holding your hand through the whole process. I mean, that's what I do over Skype with people who pay me a lot of money to do that, and then they don't pay their rent. But it's okay, because You can sit on the side of the road and, you know, do your Q bank or whatever, use the hospital Wi-Fi, sleep in the hospital library. You don't need to pay rent, but you'll have a good plan of what you need to do. Jinty Gibson, just chilling, bro. Going to get some Chinese food soon. Okay. I haven't had Chinese food in maybe like a month. I went out to dinner like maybe a month ago, and there was like a random fucking. It was like an accident. Like I didn't intend on getting Chinese food. But I was with a friend, and like we just like found some random fucking like restaurant on second floor of this building. Um, and we just like walk in there. We're like, what the fuck is this? And it was like some Chinese place, and it was like pretty good actually. I wouldn't go back, but it was pretty good Chinese food. Before this live stream, I had a piece of grilled chicken, and I had a big green leaf salad and then like a smaller salad. Let's see, Nakia, hit the like, please. Yeah, guys, give the video a like if you're coming to the live stream. Div, I don't have OCD to be first anymore. Nakia Ravanur, is the USMLE step 2 graded on the curve? The answer is no. Your next statement is like, are all the forms equalized and the difficult questions taken out based on? No, they don't give a fuck, dude. What do you think they do? You know how like low tech they are? They're literally, they just assemble forms, and then it's pretty much just like percentage equals a score. I've said they differ very slightly in their scales, very slightly. Like you're talking like a few points. And when I talk about getting a 3-digit score from a 2-digit percentage, cumbersomely doing that, you know, Celsius Fahrenheit conversion, the reason is because I'm very pedantic / OCD about, you know, knowing exactly where you are very accurately, having and seeing that precision as you do more forms. I want to know exactly where you are. So, but no. And then to address a tangential question where some students will say, well, are harder questions worth more than easier questions? The answer is no. Okay, so all questions are worth the same as well. Saturno. Hi, in case of IF septic embolus, if they already took blood samples, the next best step is antibiotics. Heparin has no role, right? For endocarditis, it's blood. You're going to do blood cultures before antibiotics. I actually just had that question with a student on the Skype maybe like an hour ago. But yeah, you're going to do blood cultures before antibiotics for endocarditis. Omar Al-Nassar, it's my last 2 weeks. I want just to study all your PDFs. Is that good? I'm flattered, but you need to be doing the MBMEs in the final 2 weeks, right? So obviously go through my PDFs if you can, but you gotta basically 8 hours a day on NBMEs in the final month. Okay, you should be done with my PDFs by the time you hit the final month. You should be going through my PDFs while you're in your QBank phase. If you get to the dedicate, you say, oh, fuck, seriously? Like, I'm in dedicate. I haven't touched like any of your PDFs yet. I was planning to do X. Well, it's a bad fucking idea because you listen to people on Reddit about my PDFs artificially inflating your score, absolute nonsense / garbage, and you compromised your score. That's what you did. You compromised your prep. So it's a bad fucking idea. You should have gone through my. It's like, well, cry over spilled milk. Well, we will fucking cry over spilled milk. Yes, you should have done my PDFs while you're in QBank, the QBank phase. I've harped on this. I've inculcated this where you're going to do QBank in the morning, and then the afternoons, holy shit, you're going to do my PDFs and my YouTube MCQs, right? And then the final month is going to be all the NBME exams. Now, if you literally haven't touched any of my PDFs during the final month and your scores in the NBMEs are satisfactory, it's not a crisis because you're going to pass anyway, right? But if you're not passing, it makes fucking sense. You didn't go through my content. You should be going through Hilaris at a minimum, bare fucking minimum. Anatomy, bro, you are OP. Love you, bro. Yeah, I watch all your Cigar. I watch all your Insta / YouTube lives. You said we need to score 95% on. I said you need to score 95% on old free 120. I scored only 83. That's clearly a troll. I don't know what you're referring to. I don't think you mean percent. Maybe you're talking about like I've said at least 2/3. So I think you're like cracked out, smoking a little bit too much shisha with like salvia or something. Crack the fuck out because I never fucking said that. Vakia got around 78%, NBME 8. It's good. And the Reddit conversion says equal to 218. Okay, I mean, you just passed. Does that sound realistic? I mean, you can be disappointed, but that's what your score is. So you can try just for entertainment. Why don't you just try running it through like NBME9 conversion or something, right? You could say, is the 8 scale like fucked up? Like, is this accurate? And then run it through the 9 conversion. You're like, oh, I ran it through the 9 NBME9 or NBME10 conversion equation, and it gave me like a 235. Okay, and so you can make that assessment, but I think it should be accurate. Okay, so the scale's a little bit different for step 2. Hunter, your PDF's enough to get 260 on CK. I've said that you're going to do a tetrad. I said you're going to do a QBank, UWorld, or Amboss. I said PDFs, number 2. Number 3, my YouTube MCQs. Number 4, all the NBME CMS content. So if you're a good test taker, maybe you could read my PDFs and you just get good scores. But for most people, they need to be doing lots and lots and lots of questions. Amir Chahimi, good to see you again. Hey, Mike, what's your goal number of YouTube questions? I don't have a goal. I don't really give a fuck. I'm just I'm just churning out content. That's what I'm doing. I don't really give a fuck. I'm just doing it. Let's see. Yazid, feel like it has, because I've been so preoccupied with exams. No, the same Yazid Camille Doc. This is just a different account. Got it. Anatomy, Easter West Mike. Bye is the best. May, Rosa Mystica. Good to see you again. You look great, Mike. Thanks. Daniel Du Nascimento Aroja. Hey, Mike, love you. Step 1. Hi, I have uni from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. I did not start studying for step 1, but I start tomorrow. I want to take it 4 to 5 months. Is that possible? Or should I make a more realistic schedule? And how do you recommend I make the most of my time at university? If you're preoccupied all day, you want to take it in step. Look, I don't give a fuck what your school schedule is. You're going to have like different people are going to have different schedules, right? Part-time jobs, school, whatever, clinic. You just have to get through questions. Like insofar as you get 4 to 5 months, is a lot of time. So insofar as you come out of school, let's say, and then you're going to knock out 40 questions. That's what you got to do. Finishes at 3 p.m. What I would do is I would think of it as like my day is not over yet. Like I'd finish uni at 3 p.m. as you said, and then I would get maybe like a quick bite to eat, however that's organized. I mean, maybe you eat at maybe you eat lunch already. Maybe you're not going to get a bite to eat. The point is you're going to finish uni at 3 p.m. as you say, and then I would go get some caffeinated, fucking cafe latte or whatever. And then I would go to the hospital library. I'd go to the university library and I would be like, I got to bang out this fucking annoying ass 40 questions right now. And I'd be planning, I'd be like, I want to be fucking out of here ASAP. So I'd be in there, I'd be in the library till I don't know, fucking 6 p.m. You can use it as a incentive. You can be like, my day's not over yet until I finish this annoying fucking set of 40 questions I'm going to do, 4 blocks of 10. So you want to be out of there? Well, no, you're not allowed. So you're going to be really efficient. Doesn't mean skip questions, doesn't mean skip explanations, but you'll be out of there 6 p.m., 7 p.m. You'll be out of there and then you're free. Cool, you're free. Holy shit. And then, I don't know, you go to the gym, you get a meal, maybe do something social, right? I mean, but you're out of there and it's 6, 7 p.m. You're done. Okay. That's minimum. That's bare fucking minimum. Obviously, if you want to be a gunner, well, you're going to get a bite to eat, maybe go to the gym, and then you're doing PDFs until the night. It's that's what you got to do. It's your uni's fucking fault for being they have fucking ego, that they have the audacity to think that they're entitled to your fucking time, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's laughable. The best they're going to do is give you some piece of paper that's a degree, but they're probably teaching you jack fucking shit when your time is better spent doing QBank all day. Reviewing my content actually would increase your scores more. You sit in an apartment in Iceland, and rather than going to uni, you just do my PDFs and questions all day and YouTube MCQs, and you'll get a higher score in your exams. And Sports Saga, what do you think is the best time for UWSA ? I said I don't prescribe UWSAs. UWSAs only have a role if a patient's already, let's say, taken the exam, failed, used all the NBMEs, 20 to 31, free 120. They don't have any more assessments. And we could say NBME 19, NBME 18. We could go to earlier forms. Even the old NBMEs, NBME 3, just go early. It doesn't matter. Or we can use UWSA. But I don't routinely incorporate those into people's prep. Tushar, love the shirt color, man. Hello, tomorrow. Hi, Doc. My step 1 is in less than 10 hours. So stressed. First of all, good luck. Secondly, why are we stressed? I mean, what are we stressed about? So, okay, it's 4:13 a.m. Sunday here in Japan. So if you're on the East Coast in the US, it's 3:13 p.m. for you. Um, Regardless, yeah, I would just chill the fuck out. And actually, no, and you say in 10 hours. So I don't know. Are you like, are you not in the US time zone? I don't know where you would be then. 10 hours. Are you starting at 8 a.m. or like noon? When are you starting your, maybe it's midnight for you then, or I don't know, 10 p.m., wherever the fuck you are. U-turn, watching your QBank videos. My NBME scores increased and I started passing. Are they reliable now? Because you go through NBME Qs. I don't fucking go through NBME Qs. I write my own fucking questions. Joshua Collingwood. I base my content off the NBME. It's like fucking laughable, dude. Like it's so fucking laughable that like I make content that's fucking ace. And then you get people fucking crying about how it's like this notion of artificial score inflation. It's because the content's fucking on spot. It's like, I mean, relax. Joshua Collingwood, hey Dr. Mike, PDFs, audio, QBanks are gold. Do you have a micro/infectious disease resource? Can't stand sketchy. Well, I've said you can do dermatology PDF that's loaded with microbiology. I've got not just my YouTube MCQs that are, the playlist for micro, like the 5-minute questions, but I've also got, holy shit, 45-minute PowerPoints on my YouTube. You probably didn't know that, some of you. Okay, you go in the playlist. There's 45-minute micro PowerPoints. Okay, that are solid. Some students really like those. Mustafa Karim, how are you? What's going on, Mustafa? Sunny, what do you think of the most common topics which students study too much or do not study enough? I think it's mostly like nitpicky stuff. It's not like a specific topic. It's just I notice students have a propensity sometimes to, miss the forest for the trees. It's like they don't focus on big picture concepts. Sort of like a universal, like ubiquitously occurs that it's like, a student will DM me about like, Kaplan mirror curve or like Michaelis Menten Lineweaver Burke bullshit. But like they don't fucking know SIADH versus DI. Like they don't know Addison versus Kahn. They don't know like the acid base disturbances for aspirin, DKA. Like they don't know like basic fucking shit. But then they're asking about like pharmacokinetics fucking nonsense. That's more of what I like observe. Master, Mike, your thoughts on black pillars? I don't have thoughts on that specifically on black pillars. I'm gonna keep this focus. You can ask questions later on that. I'm gonna keep this focus on med for the moment. Anatomy. Do you like Indian food? Well, I just said I was gonna keep this focus on med stuff, but yeah, I've said that. I mean, people who follow my content know that that's my. I think Indian food's like probably my favorite Indian. I don't eat it often though because it's like heavy, which is fucking delicious. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, a big fucking naan. That'd be nice. You eat a big fucking naan though, and then you gotta hit the treadmill for half an hour later. But it's fucking amazing. Spicy. It's gotta be spicy. Um, fallow pages. What's the motivation to help students? I mean, look, I could give you like philosophical, politically correct answer about like, oh my god, it's so like good to help people and like feel fulfilled. I mean, okay, there's like, sure, wouldn't it? It's nice to have that domain, that pillar in our lives as far as okay, we're helping people. I mean, people ask me why I do the USMLE stuff. I mean, I happen to be good at it. I don't find medicine interesting. That's why like I don't personally practice, but I happen to be very fucking good at it, which is why I make content for it. Um, but I mean, yes, I said it's nice to have a domain where like I can contribute and help people. Sure. Let's see. Bilal Muhammad, genuinely curious about. Nah, I'm just gonna delete you from my channel. You're blocked. Blocked. Moad, Suede, just did a 40. If you ask like a very fucking audacious question, you'll just get blocked. Just did it. Just depends. It depends on my like my decision in the moment, right? Moad Suede just did a 40 Qs. Block at 50%. Feel like stool. The fuck does that mean? Want to smash my laptop? Do you need like other words to be able to describe your emotions? You say you feel like stool. Okay. Want to smash my laptop and go out. Step 2 CK makes me super angry and stressed. Try dialing back the emotions a little bit. I'm assuming you're a dude. As a dude, you gotta like, you know, what are we emotional about? What's the issue? Like, what's the issue here? Um, Relax. Okay, just like do your blocks. I don't really know what to tell you. You got to just move through the USMLE prep, right? Raham, hey Mike, I did second U World assessment yesterday. I got 63%, so 213. Old free 120, 68% exam in 3 weeks. Do you think this is enough time? Well, 213 is good. Exams in 63% was a 213. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. You're saying second. Oh, that's a U World self. Dude, don't give me this. Oh, Reham. I think you're a chick. Actually, I can't see your thumbnail, but I think it's a chick. Don't give me this U World self assessment nonsense. I mean, like that's like I've said the NBMEs are what matter. I was like bemused as to like how a 63% is a 213. I don't really give a fuck about U World self assessments. I've said you got to do the NBME exams. So you got to take like NBME 20. That's what I want to see. I want to see you do NBMEs 20 and 21. That's what I want to see right now. Don't give me this U World self assessment nonsense. Von Willebrand disease. Hey Mike, one of my friends is a huge fan. Was wondering if you could wish Ahmed a happy birthday. Thanks, man. Happy birthday, Ahmed. Muskin, MGN. Hey Mike, what do I do? Was that very nice? Was that the affable like happy birthday Ahmed was hoping for? Let's see. Muskin, MGN. Hey Mike, what do I use for biostats? Your neuro PDF is gold. Well, I have a biostats PDF. Holy shit, you can use that. And I'd also just review the questions from QBank and also the NBME exams. And when you encounter biostats in the NBMEs, you just got to fucking know those questions. Right. So let's say you get like 12 questions on biostats and NBME. All right. Well, good idea to review those questions, understand those questions, don't you think? Saturno, love you, Mike. Moad. By the way, if a kid had a cyst next to the gallbladder, what should you do next? The answer is choice E, surgical excision of the cyst. I know what question you're talking about. It's on one of the surgery forms, and it's called a colodocal cyst. And they tell you CT of the abdomen shows a cystic structure medial to the gallbladder, and the answer is choice E, surgical excision of the cyst. I fucking talked about that in my gastro PDF. Try actually going through my PDFs, and you would know the answer. Like literally search Control F colodocal cyst in my high yield gastro PDF. Zachariah Ismail, thanks doctor so much for the plan. I really appreciate it. But is it possible to study cardiopulmonary gastro and heme before taking NBME 21 without taking AMBOSS? You can, but I mean, go through the PDF, sure. But when you tell me you're like tanking, when you got a 163 or whatever it was, or 169, it tells me you just need more practice with questions. I said that I want you doing questions in QBank concurrent to going through my PDFs. Zachariah, if I did 40 questions per day, as you said, how long does it take me to finish it? Well, I have an idea. You're going to take the number of questions that are total in the QBank, you're going to divide by 40, and guess what? The output is going to be the number of days that's going to take you to finish the QBank, right? What do you want me to say to that? Mustafa Karim, I have questions. I read FA, and I've seen. Nah, I don't want to give oxygen to cuckery. That's not what I'm going to do right now. Omar, why NBME 14? Very difficult question mark. Is the exam getting harder? Triple question mark. Relax. Okay, relax. It's not getting harder. Hey, Adali. Hey, Mike. New questions UWorld are doing really hard and confusing. Does that mean the real deal questions are becoming harder? No, UWorld's not the real deal. I said the NBMEs are the real deal. The CMS questions are the real deal. UWorld doesn't fucking mean jack shit. Okay, the questions are not the real deal. Ali H. Hello, Dr. Mike. You mentioned that if we do UWorld and all the CMS NBME questions and 2 of the 10 exams had low scores, is it a risk taking step 2 right? And is it risk taking step 2 and better schedule? What? I want to follow up. It's an ESL statement. I have no idea what you're fucking asking me right now. I mean, if you're talking about step 2, like I would like to see 220 plus on the NBMEs because 214 is pass. So if you have a buffer, it'd be nice to have 220 plus, right, for your conversions. I don't care about your scores in the CMS forms. We could arbitrarily just say like greater than 35 out of 50. I mean, right? It's like 70%, but like I care about more your NBME scores. You can use the CMS forms for just like knowledge augmentation, but for actual assessment, use the NBMEs. My Y prime for IMG, Y USMLE question mark in comparison to UK, other countries, Y USA question mark. Is it worth the struggle? Well, I asked the same fucking question for people who want to be around guns all day. I mean, like, if that's your goal, if that's your aim, you want to do surgery and like be surrounded by people who clothes carrying fucking armed, they're armed. If that's the society you want to live in, go to the United States. I mean, you asked about the UK. I'd prefer to live in the UK over the USA if I had to choose a place. Nakia Brooks, Mike, I've had a couple of questions that require hearing a murmur. Do you recommend a good resource to learn these, or low yield in your opinion? I think you say audio resource. No, I don't recommend an audio resource. I recommend going through my cardio PDF to learn the murmurs. I discuss them in depth there. I actually recommend you verbally memorizing the murmurs, and then that can be extrapolated to the scenario you encounter on the real deal. In other words, if you memorize what a murmur is supposed to sound like, you say, for example, I know that an MVP, mitral prolapse, is supposed to be verbally a mid-systolic click, but I'm not good at hearing anything. Like, I wouldn't be able to hear that if I had to listen on the stethoscope. I'd be terrible at that. But you memorize verbally on paper that it's supposed to be a mid-systolic click. What's going to happen is you get a vignette of Marfan syndrome on your real deal, very easy, obvious Marfan syndrome, and it's a stethoscope question, and you're like, oh fuck, I can't listen to any, I don't know what I'm supposed to listen for. But you're like, wait a second, Marfan syndrome is going to be mitral valve prolapse. So you move it to the mitral location, and you hear what sounds like a mid-systolic click because you verbally knew what MVP is supposed to sound like, and you're like, okay, the answer is just mitral valve prolapse. Some students say, couldn't it be aortic regurg? It could. I mean, you could have a decrescendo holodiastolic murmur, an early diastolic murmur, loudest after S2, but that's usually accompanied by an aortic dissection, connective tissue disorders, right? Most common cause of aortic regurg, aortic dissection, USMLE. We have retrograde propagation of the aortic root, cause aortic dilatation. Step one, when do you recommend I start doing PDFs, question mark? On day one, or should I go through a month of questions and start doing PDFs, question mark? Does it matter, question mark? I think it I want to see you starting questions from day one. And if you want, you can gain a little bit of momentum doing questions, just, as in maybe like a few days where you just do questions. But I ultimately want you to do the PDFs during the QBank phase. Like, no, I don't want you holding off on PDFs, and I don't want you holding off on questions either. I said I don't want you, quote unquote, pre-reading, doing PDFs for X amount of time before commencing questions. You need to be getting right underway with lots of questions. Fallow pages, you keep it real. Fallow, that means like deserted, empty. That's a weird name. Moad, Suede, what do you think about video games? I don't play video games. If you like them, are you planning to play the new GTA 6? When I don't play video games. I stopped playing like instantaneously when I turned like around 17. Like, I played them a lot through like until I was like 16. No, actually I stopped when I was 16, like instantaneously. There was no transition for me. Like, I played a lot of video games until I was like 16 and a half maybe. And then I just stopped instantaneously, like one day. Like, my mom, I think, even bought me like a new like video game, like the next year's edition of like a football game that I played with my friends. And, like, I didn't even open it. Because it sort of coincided with getting my driver's license. And then I was also working at a store called Hollister at the time in New York. And yeah, I mean, I just, my lifestyle just changed instantly. And so I just stopped playing video games in junior year of high school. Moad, oh my God, you even remember the answer location. Your brain is, it's called, what do you think I fucking do? I do USMLE questions. I do NBME questions all fucking, not all day, but every day with students. That's what I do. I'm neat. Hi, Mike. I know you don't care about UWorld percentages, but I'm at 76% in IM and surgery. Is it possible to get 270? You have more than 6 months. I mean, obviously, you have time. If you're trying to get 270, it's a lot of fucking time. Just get through questions. You're gonna get through. I said after you finish QBank, you can do the CMS forms over 3 weeks. Then I'm gonna be 6 through 8. Then double pass all the CMS forms. Then 120. Then 9 through 14. You're gonna do all that. You're gonna go through all my PDFs and my YouTube MCQ playlist, and you'll get your 270, hopefully. Nakia Brooks, thank you. Yes, going through the cardio PDF as we speak, amazing content. Moad, I showed your dermatology PDF, which is my favorite one in parentheses, to a dermatologist, which is a friend of an uncle. He scanned through some pages and said half of them are wrong. No, he's fucking wrong then. I don't know why you said no, he's fucking wrong. I'll tell you why. It's because real life doesn't coincide with USMLE necessarily. And if he has like beef with like some of what I put in my PDF, he's fucking wrong. He's fucking wrong. Let's see. Ankar, Hofi, any tips to prevent burnout? Yeah, I said going to the gym. That's what I said. You know, that's like baseline and mandatory. Like you should be going to the gym at least 5 days a week. That's going to help you psychologically. Ayad Ali, hey Mike, what would you recommend doing in the last week if I did all NBMEs 2031 besides reviewing them? I've said the last week is just going to be NBMEs, correct? You can look over high yield arrows if you want, but you got to do NBME exams. Vince D, 2 weeks till step one. I've gone through forms 2024, score 70. I'm going to end this live stream because there's no more questions here. So you better fucking, if you have a question, you better fucking get it in. I'm going to end this shit real fucking soon. I'm not wasting my fucking time. I'm going to go to the gym. 2 weeks till step one. I've gone through forms 23-24, scored 70%, and 23-24. Since time is short, should I do all the remaining 25-30? Should I redo forms 23-24, which I've heard? 2 weeks till step one. You scored 70%. I mean, look, I've said that you need to be getting 205, 210 plus as your score conversions on all the NBME exams. I've said that a lot. So I want you to get through all those forms 20-31, and you got to have at least 205, 210 plus in those forms. Okay, so you're getting very technical about redoing forms and this and that. I just say, which forms have you not fucking done? And those are going to be the ones that are the litmus test. And I want to see 205, 210 plus in those before you sit. Moad, my cat says hi. Sahil says, how you doing, brother? Good to see you, Sahil. Yo, Mehlman, you absolute legend. Been using your stuff for years. Quick question, how would you go about step one, 7 weeks, and step two in 3 weeks after that? So 10 weeks from now. If you have step one in 7 weeks, I'd be basically just 3 weeks of QBank, my PDFs and MCQs from the YouTube. And then you've got a month for your NBMEs, and then step two, 3 weeks after that. It's a bad fucking idea. No. You need 4 months to prep for step two. I don't know why you'd be rushing that. Ideally, not a situation you want to be in. Obviously, there's like custom scenarios where students do have to group the exams closer together like that. But why would you sit step two so close to step one? Because you're just not going to get the score you need on step two. Find myself, Mike, I would like to have multiple children, but it's hard to handle. It's hard. Can you write a sentence in fucking English so I don't have to translate? Mike, I would love to have multiple children, but it's hard to handle female drama. It has held me back from getting into relationships. Any insights, please? You say female drama. I mean, you're going to have to deal with fucking women if you're going to go down that route. That's a long discussion. Okay. It depends on the female as well. I said it's a very, very, I mean, I could do a monologue for like 90 minutes on this stuff, but I mean, it depends on the female. Okay. Some women say that they need more attention and you got to play their little beta game. Other women, they prefer to be dismissed. Okay. And then even if they say they want attention, they prefer to be dismissed. So it really depends. I mean, you say you want multiple children. I mean, I don't really know what to tell you. You're going to have to build relationships then. You're going to have to just play a numbers game and filter for someone and then have those conversations as far as, you know, how to establish that relationship with her. You communicate your goals that way. That's with one female. Otherwise, you're going to be, you know, you're going to be doing more of a bachelor style thing where it's with many women. Laughter chunk, hey Mike, sometimes answer does not strike at the moment. For example, I will correct 4 questions out of 5 for stroke, but will forget very basic vessel or detailed symptoms. Suggestion needed exam next month. I don't really know what you're asking right now. I have no idea what you're asking me. What are you fucking asking me right now? Sjögren's syndrome, SS. My cue is I have 2,000 questions in UWorld left, getting 40% system exam in 2.5 months for step one. How much hour should I give? And how many hours should I give? It's 2,000 questions in UWorld. It's like harder for me to read these comments than it is like doing actual, like, it's like, I don't know what to fucking say right now. The ESL is off the chains. Let's see. 2,000 questions left in UWorld, 40%. Okay, you're gonna need a month for the NBME exams, Sjögren's syndrome. So just you got a month and a half left to get through that 2,000 questions you have remaining. Vic Bodwar, should I do emergency ambulatory CMS before I am shelf? No, not necessarily, because IM has a shitload of questions. in the QBank. Okay, so you're just going to do all the QBank questions. You're going to do all the 8 CMS forms twice. You can go through my massive fucking IM. I would go through my massive IM YouTube playlist, and you're going to go through my subject PDFs. So not just the high yield mixed reviews 1, 2, 3, 4, but you're also going to go through cardiopulmonary, gastro, hematology, and dermatology PDFs. My Y prime regarding USA versus UK. I think most doctors prefer USA for the cash. I mean, whatever. I've said I don't want to be around guns. So if I had to choose, I think the UK would be an easy no brainer. Easy no brainer. Mariam Paso, hello. What's going on, Mariam? Thanks for being a member. And I know you're a member because you're green and you got my icon next to you. Everyone else is gray. Taha, finish 40 CMS forms, start with NBMEs now, question marks. I've said, Taha, that when you finish 45 to 50 forms, you're going to do NBMEs 6 through 8. And you're going to do those over 6 days, 6 through 8. And then you're going to do all 45, 50 CMS forms again, free 120, then 9 through 14. Omar, you're a legend, bro. My question is, how do we go about doing your question explanations? I mean, do the playlists on your channel include the whole system? Do the playlists on your channel include the whole system? What does that mean? I have different systems based on my playlists, like obviously cardio, pulm, renal, etc. If you're asking, are they fully comprehensive for all the topics that are assessed? I mean, at this point, I have 800 questions, so they're like very comprehensive for all the high yield stuff for sure. But obviously, I'm going to keep making more content. Anna Lee, is it possible to pass with very weak knowledge in cellular biology, molecular stuff? I'm getting decent scores in MMEs. I mean, what if I had a form that is full of molecular stuff? It's a possibility. I mean, we can't predict what's going to show up on your actual form. We don't know. It's sort of, I've said this before, it's like a lose-lose. It's like if you study it really hardcore and learn it, it's not going to show up in your exam. It'll be a waste of fucking time. You'll be pissed off. But if you don't study it and you say, I'll take my risks, you're going to get like 10 questions of like molecular nitpicky stuff. That's how it works. Camille, done with 80% UWorld, NBME 28, 77%. Excellent. When to sit the exam, should finish UWorld. Camille, you got to get through 20. I want you to do finish 20 through 31, all those NBMEs, 20 through 24, free 120, 25, 26. You've already done, which one did you already do? The chat moved at me. I don't even know where your fucking comment is now. I don't even know where you're fucking, maybe 28. Yes, you're just going to do 20 through 24, free 120, 25, 27, and then 29 to 31, and then you can sit. But your scores are obviously good enough, but I still want you to get to the MBME exams. Sunny, my MBME scores are all 246, 248, but the subject-specific breakdown is all over the place. For example, I'm getting 50% in cardio on one form, 80% on the next. Am I reading too much into this? The answer is yes, you are reading too much into it because you'll fluctuate based on your forms. Doesn't fucking matter. Okay. Sometimes you'll like star cardio to the right. Holy shit, you're amazing. And then another form, it'll be like lower. So I don't care when people like take an MBME and they're like, do you want to see my breakdown? I'm like, no, I don't want to see your breakdown. I know instantaneously based on someone's score, like their percentage, what their 3-day score is. I know instantaneously what kind of questions they're getting wrong without even seeing their score report. And I can just tell the student, I'm like, based on your score, you got these types of questions wrong. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, no fucking shit. So Moad, Suede, caffeine isn't kicking in my blood like it used to pre-step 1, what to do. You can do one of two things. You can either go off of it for 2 days, feel like absolute dog shit and just like depressed and tired and like, you know, you can't do anything, but you like resensitize to it. Where in 2 days you have a coffee and you're like, oh my God, I can like, I'm euphoric. I feel this like third of a coffee I just drank. Right? You ever try that? It's like, holy shit, caffeine works again. Or you're just going to increase your dose. That's what you're going to do. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. This isn't fucking rocket science. That's what you're going to do. Div, same question. Just fucking answered it. Laughter, Chunk, good to see you. I think it's the first time I've seen you in my live stream. Bro, example, I will solve 4 questions out of 5 Alzheimer's. I will get correct 4 out of 5, but sometimes we'll forget. Hirano bodies is a histology. No one fucking cares about Hirano bodies. Hidano bodies. No one cares of it. And it happens for different topics. No one cares about Hidano bodies. Let's see. Mariam Paso, what do you think of simulating the real deal? 7 hours of questions, bad fucking idea. To practice, a good idea. No, it's not. It's bad fucking idea. I just said, or am I wasting my time? Yes, you're wasting your time. I said that for simulation purposes, like longer question loads should only ever occur after you've already done the NBME forms. In other words, you can finish an NBME, like you're going to finish 20 through 24, free 120. So 20 through 24, it's 5 forms, free 120, it's a 6 form. And you've done Anki incorrect screenshots for those. But then before you go to 25, you have a day where you do 20, 21 back to back. So that's 400 questions. The next day, 22, 23 back to back, 400 questions. The next day, 24 free 120 back to back, 320 questions. So you can simulate quote unquote length based on that, but you've already done those questions. I would never say it's a bad fucking idea to do NBMEs back to back for the first time. Never fucking do that. But you can redo them, okay, just to consolidate around that information, the NBMEs. Sacred Sky used to say in your other channel, you used to say that problems the male has with women are because of non-embrace of adversity. Do women really care about that? Isn't it just 100% looks, so they shouldn't care? Or were you going to continue that, or you said or? I mean, look, dude, it's kind of both ways. I think women you meet, I've said for the first time, women you meet outside of social circle, they only care about looks. Women don't care about men's personalities. I've said that. I've articulated that. If you see an attractive woman, she's with a guy who's not so attractive, there's no judgment. Okay, nothing negative. It's just we're talking about guys ask these questions frequently. I've said that it's a social circle thing. Okay, where he sits next to her in fucking PBL, CBL 3 days a week. They see each other all the time. They're in clinical coaching together, see each other all the time. They work at the same office and the same like cubicles are next to each other. It's like her best friend's coworker's friend. And they were like introduced. Okay, it's social circle. That's 99% of situations where you see an attractive woman with a male who's not so attractive. There's no judgment. People ask these questions. When it comes down to outside social circle where you open some chick and she's getting on the train or she's walking down the street or something, and she can be open to the interaction. So it's a state. It's a matter of her state. But it's really just about looks. No, they don't care about your personality. No, they don't care about your hobbies. No, they don't care about your ambition. They don't care about any of that stuff. It's just looks. That's my view. It's not nihilistic. That's the situation. And, there's some women watching this live stream are probably like, yeah, he's right. Actually, I only care about looks. When we talk about non-abrasive adversity, that's like you're getting too like philosophical about it. You need to like reword that. Okay. It's really, I think what you're trying to say is if a male gets complacent and he doesn't subject himself to ongoing rejection, that can incite more needy behaviors on his end that can in turn be unattractive to new women he meets. Okay. That's fine. I see that. I agree with that. Okay. You're right. I have said that. But correct in terms of women outside social circle you're encountering for the first time. No, they don't care about your personality. No, they don't care if you come off really like confident or anything. It's just looks. Omar Madani, would you still prefer UK knowing that you only need 3 years to finish IM in the US, whilst it still might take you 8 years? You know why you're asking that question? It's because of the cash. That's why. It's about the cash. Because you're saying, would I prefer the UK if I knew it were going to take me 8 years versus 3 years in the US? You're talking about the British, yes, the British/Australian system where you have to go through like your house officer years, right? Junior, senior, principal house officer years prior. If it's about getting straight to the cash, like if that's the aim, just go to the fucking US, get your residency out of the way. I don't know what to tell you. But you asked me in like a vacuum, like would I rather like practice? Okay, would I rather practice in the UK or the US? The answer is I'd rather be in the UK because I wouldn't want to be around fucking guns and fucking low IQ politics in the United States. That's not what I want to be around. Not to say UK is very fierce, ferocious politics as well. But I feel like the UK just, I've been to England once, but I just, I would not choose to be around gun crime in the US. That's probably my major reason why I would avoid that place. Bobby Sway, Dr. Mike, I messaged you on Instagram regarding score range. Will you reply? I don't know if you messaged me now because I deleted some DMs prior to starting this live stream. Some people DM me. It's not a fucking ego thing, but like I don't have interest in answering your dumb fucking medical questions through my Instagram DMs. So if you guys do that, don't get salty. Be like, well, I'm gonna unfollow him. Unfollow. Great. Don't need to cater to your mousy DMs. Rayhan, Zahid, missed you, bro. AKA Katazu, Mike's on. DS, oh hi. DS, good to see you. First time in the live stream. DS, I think you are quite possibly DS, the longest member on my channel. I think. I think you might be one of the longest. I think you might be the longest member on my channel. I'm not going to check this second because I don't want to fuck with the live stream. I don't know if it would, change settings for me, but um, I think I see the list of the members, and I think you might quite possibly be the longest member on the channel. Username whatever says I got 55% correct on which is a 187. I made me 20. Should I do you willing corrects first? Or I made me 21. Thanks. I would go back to you willing corrects because you got 189 and lower. I said that you need to break 190 on enemy 20 to progress to 21, and likewise break 190 on 21 to progress to 22. So yes, you have to go back to you willing corrects. Mod Suede planning to visit Osaka in November after the 2CK exam. Do you recommend some places? I mean, sure. There's like different places you can go to. You can shoot me like a DM on Instagram, be like, yo, I'm Moad. Where should I go or whatever. I mean, you're fucking asking me now, but Osaka Joe is like classic touristy place, which is the castle. People like to go there. When I first came to Osaka, I didn't go there. I was with my ex-girlfriend at the time she was Australian, and like, we came here and she wanted to go to the castle. I was like, nah, I'm good. I was like, I'd rather just like get a beer or something. That's what happened. She was like pissed off, and like, I was like, I don't care. I don't really want to go to the castle. I'd rather like get beers. And like, we got beers. But I mean, the castle's like, tourists go there. There's other areas as well. I could say the names, but you're not going to remember them right now anyway. Let's see. Stormy, Orlin, my close friend circle all married each other. I married in my friend's circle. Truth as fuck. No fucking shit. It's truth as fuck. I mean, this isn't like dramatic information here. It's called Social Circle. Osman Kayani doc exam is Wednesday. Better use of my time would be reviewing arrows or high yield 1 through 4 question mark. Look at arrows. They're all good, but you could, if it's a crisis, look at arrows. Moa, do you want to know how to get married and prepare for USMLE at the same time? I don't know. I mean, do you have to do both at the same time? Do you have to? I mean, if getting married is like the priority while you're in the middle of the USMLE study, then you can go about it. But it just obviously USMLE study is supposed to be a full-time endeavor. Sacred Skydive, I just feel that many women. Sacred Scout, I feel like that many women don't hook up with me, and you say you got 5 to 10 app dates easily. It's massively cuck. And then you say it's because I'm still too needy for female emotions. Okay, I feel like that is why I lose them despite fourness. Well, how many times have I said Sacred Scout, which, by the way, thanks for becoming a member. I really appreciate it, bronze member. How many times have I, and then you want to say, that's what I meant. I am so needy for female emotions because I did not embrace diversity. I mean, I've said, how many times have I said that? Like, as a fucking dude, like, you have to really just like not be emotional about things. People think it's like a parody or something. It's like, like emotions in the male serve essentially zero purpose, zero utility in terms of actually like fostering a relationship with a female, because women will say that they want some dude who's like emotional toward them. And it's the exact fucking opposite. They're like, that's not true, Mike. I like guys who are emotional. It's like, no, you don't. You want a dude who fucking like is dismissive, and like that's like pretty fucking standard. And the reason the male evolves to be this way is because it's through experience. He doesn't just come out of the fucking womb and then he's like, autistic towards women. It's the fact that like, the men will accrue experiences where like they might attempt to engage women that try to be more emotional or, try to have that connection. And then like that will result in rejection. But then women whom the male chooses to be dismissive toward, he's able to observe that actually helps facilitate propagation of the relationship. So it's not a fucking accident that like some dudes become more like, unemotional to women. But I see that as a necessary thing for the most part. I think you make it about non-embrace of adversity. Look, dude, it's also a DNA thing. Some dudes are just more labile, more emotional. I think you just got to dial things back. You could say like, well, I can embrace like who I am. I'm emotional or whatever as a dude. It's like, okay. And then you're going to screen for a chick who's like possibly, she's the male in the relationship. She's the one who's going to be like a wall. And then you're going to be like the female who's like highly emotional toward her and labile. Um, but I've said, like in short consolidation, I've said that in general, at least as per my observations, being more like autist toward women and dismissive, that can actually help facilitate relationships, which that'll get some people triggered real fucking fast, taken out of context. People take things the wrong way in 2023. But I'm just saying that there's women out there who prefer a male who's more dismissive, like a dude who's actually a fucking dude, not some emotional chick that she's dating. Omar Madani, it's not really a question. I just wanted to say really thank you for putting out such high quality educational content for free and still dedicate time to answer many of my dumb questions. Appreciated. Irwa Ahmed, any thoughts about me 13, 14 for CK? My scores dropped from 250 to 230s. Do you recommend delaying the exam? No, I don't. I don't think you should delay the exam. And I think it might be coincidental where, maybe if you had just happened to sat 13, 14 first, you got 230s, and then you sat, let's say 11, 12 after, you'd have been like, wow, I went up, I got 250s. It's sort of coincidental. You got to just accept that you're going to have a range of scores. That's what it is. I wouldn't postpone. You're passing, so I wouldn't postpone. Juan Carlos Sanchez, Arrows versus USMLE high yield review. You already fucking asked that. I said Arrows. You should do it all about Arrows. Neil, just wanted to thank you for the prep help. Got step 1 pass this week. Good job, Neil. Moad, no, I'm just asking how people get married and are in med school. For me personally, if I use the toilet, my day and time are burned. I guess you'd have to talk to people who got married in med school then, right? But, some people, I don't know, people's priorities are different. That's what it comes down to, individual differences. Like not everybody is a gunner where they need to get a fucking 275. Like some people are happy with like, I just want to pass the USMLEs and like be with my partner in X location doing like a decent, internal medicine or something. Like not everyone's goals are the same. So sometimes people just want to progress with life, have kids, do things. That's what it comes down to. Sacred Scout, but why would females? Thanks again for becoming a member. Sacred Scout, you're now green. But why would the female care if the male is emotional? Like if the male has looks, they should not care. And what the interaction? I mean, I've said that looks are obviously like that's what they care about. That's what women care about. If you're some random fucking dude off the street outside social circle, it's like obviously they don't care about your personality. They just care about they don't care about your hobbies. They don't care about your interests. They don't care about your ambitions. It's just looks. But I've said that in general in terms of your emotions. Like if you want to facilitate interactions forward, right? I mean, it's not going to help in terms of the neediness. It's not going to facilitate interactions. It's like there's going to be dudes who are on a different a spectrum as far as their emotions are concerned. I view emotions as weakness in men. That's my view. I'm very traditional on it. People could say, Mike, I disagree. I think men who are strong can demonstrate emotions and this and that. I disagree. I think emotions are weakness in men. Juan Carlos Sanchez, don't have the money to renew UWorld. Can I keep doing MBOS all the way with NBMEs, USMLE high yield reviews 1 through 4? I don't really give a fuck. Just do UWorld or MBOS, and then you got to do the NBME exams after. I don't really care. Just like high yield reviews 1 through 4. I mean, you're saying you're doing MBOS already. Like, okay, do MBOS then. Moad Swid, my ex left me while prepping for CK. Peace. She's out of here. Peace. My reaction was, oh shit, Mike dropped a new high yield risk factor PDF. Nice. Exactly. Very good. Moad, have a good day, night. Mike, I'm going back to my UWorld. Thanks for cheering me up. Super Fox, Fly. Hi, I have the step 3 coming up. What's your advice to pass it? I've said for step 3, you're going to finish 1900 questions in UWorld. You're also going to do all the CMS forms the same as people do for step 2. You're going to do all the step 2 NBMEs, 6 through 14. You're going to do the single NBME for step 3. And you obviously have to practice your CCS cases, which is going to be, throughout your prep while you're doing the 1900 questions in UWorld. I want you to knock out a couple CCS cases in the evening. It's a long discussion for step 3. I mean, I could do like a 20-minute discussion on that alone. Guys, so we're getting to the end of the live stream here. All right. So, Irwa, thanks for advice, Mike. I won't be delaying it. Then, by the way, I did NBME 12 first and got 255. Did NBME 13, 14 after, and scores have dropped 235. Any last week advice? Did I not already address this? I feel like I already addressed this question already. But yeah, I addressed this. But last week advice is pretty much just going to be focusing on the NBMEs regardless. Your last week, guys, has to be NBME focus. Look at high yield arrows, it's fine. But you're talking about 2CK, just NBME focus right now. That's it. Even the ones you've already done. Yes. Hi, Dr. Mike. I felt like your PDFs inflate my NBME score. Is that true? No, it's massive cuckery. It's absolute garbage, absolute nonsense, hallucinations. Okay, you're getting kind of fed into the Reddit narrative because you're looking for excuses. Okay, I mean, you're looking to play devil's advocate because what do you want me to tell you? I mean, you did UWorld and Boss, didn't you? Where do you think they base their questions off of? Where do they get the idea for their questions? It's based off the NBME exams, and you're not bitching that they increase your score, are you? No, you're not. You're not complaining that they artificially inflate your scores. So, if you're studying what you're supposed to, if you're studying the right resources, your scores are going to go up. That's just how it works. Superfly, how realistic are step 3 UWorld assessments to the actual exam? I mean, I've said I don't care about UWorld self-assessments. I just look at the NBME exams. I want you doing all the step 2 NBMEs. And obviously the pass is different for step 2 versus 3. So what's going to happen, Superfoxfly, is like, for instance, you could do like NBME 9 for 2CK, and if you get a 220 where the pass is a 214 for 2CK, well, you could say, all right, well, pass is 198 for step 3. So if I beat the pass mark by 6 points on the step 2 NBME, maybe that's like getting a 204 or something on the step 3. So you can set the step 2 NBMEs for step 3, not for the exact number, but it's more about just like relative percentile. Like if you're failing the step 2 NBME, then you're going to fail the step 3. Okay. And if you're doing really well in the step 2 NBME, you're going to do really well in the step 3. It's just, it translates over. The material's the same. Yeah, there we go. My White Prime says, strongly disagree. Emotions are never weakness for men. I disagree. I think emotions are weakness in men. I think men need to be more of a rock. I think females, the gender that are more inclined to be emotional. Guys will get triggered. I mean, look, there's nothing wrong. I mean, these are views. People are going to have their own opinions, views, right? We're allowed to have views on different things in life. But I think, that more like the utility for like maternal bonding and stuff. I think that's more maternal, the emotional stuff, whereas dudes need to be a rock. The male function is to be a rock, is to be more of a support structure. That's like, if a male's emotional, I feel like that's a problem. Is it useful to do step 3 questions? A lot of fucking step 3 questions right now. Is it useful to do step 3 questions for step 2? Okay. No, the answer is no. You're not going to do that. Sacred Scout, okay, Doc. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Love your live streams. Thanks for becoming a member again. Super Foxfly, how do you deal with your emotions growing up and down as a man? I mean, what do you want? My whole like life story right now? Like, is that what you want? I mean, I don't really know what to tell you. Like, am I going to give you my whole life story? I grew up fine. I mean, I had like my mom was very catering. She was very like emotionally like strong, like catering to me, and like I had good connection with her growing up, formative years. My dad, he was very like he and I are very similar. He's more like autist type, where I felt growing up like, he was always there for me. He was always there for me. Very good dad. He wasn't like emotional. He wasn't emotional. He was more like intellectual in terms of like matter of fact. Like they were very much like different characteristics of my parents that way. Yeah, I mean, I just I don't really know what to say. Like I mean, I'm a 36-year-old dude. Like I'm not a feminine fucking dude. I just associate like more emotions with like female. Okay, you're saying that they're exact answers in PDFs. When I saw answers, I mean, okay. I love your lectures on how to develop confidence, talk to any girl randomly. But Rachel, you agree with my response to emotions in men? Yeah, well, I mean, you want an actual fucking dude. You're not looking for like an LEH, of course, with like, you got to have your massive fucking 5-line paragraph question. Haven't I already answered your questions, LEH? I mean, 7 out of 10. You said score. Dr. Mellon, you mentioned that if you did 10 NBMEs In step 2, score 7 of 10, 240 plus 3 of them, you score 220 plus. There's a risk of scoring below 240 on the real. Yes, the answer is you're going to score along your spectrum. That is correct. There is a risk. Correct. You have to be open. You have to understand that you're going to possibly score a lower end of your spectrum. It's possible. I mean, Sacred Scott, you already know the answer to that. You already know the answer to that. You gave it more philosophical before. I said it's a combination of DNA, but also the male going out and undertaking repeated adversity, right? You've already articulated that you're aware of that. The male can augment his non-neediness, I mean, through taking repeated no's. That can't be faked. How do you deal with a tough competitive world when everyone is trying to trip you up and your friends get jealous of your success? The answer is you can be very fast to cut people out. I'm very swift in terms of like adjusting who's in my life. I I'm very quick in terms of eliminating people. I'm not the type of person who's like, let's solve like I'm not the HR type where I'm like, let's sit down and have like a friendly talk with our tea and like discuss our concerns to each other about like XYZ. That's not how I am. I'm more just like if someone if I feel someone's negative in my orbit, I more or less will just cut that person out. That's how I am. That's how my dad's dad was actually. That's probably, I mean, I get that from my dad's dad for sure. I don't know what you're asking, Rachel. Let's see. The general understanding for step 3 is your test taking skills as the material tested is impossible to expect. Well, yeah, it's for anything. For any of the steps, it's impossible to predict what's going to show up. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to say to that. But I think just in general, just for step 3 prep, I do want you guys going through the CMS forms, the same ones you do for 2CK, and then of course all the step 2 NBMEs. That's good, Moogle. That's good, Moogle 900. Good to see you back. You weren't in the last live stream, Moogle. Thoughts on Kanye West? I don't have thoughts on Kanye West. I don't really care. I think who am I to speculate? I don't know. I mean, it had been posited that maybe he had like some, bipolar stuff going on, mania, and that's why he said certain things that he maybe shouldn't have said. I think people are very quick to, obviously, things he said, you could say are deplorable, right? Like, I'm Jewish, and then he made negative comments about Jewish people, but like, I don't, I don't really take personal offense. I'm not like offended. It's just like, I see it as more maybe it's just psych. It's psych. It's psych. I mean, people have like, how do I make time for exercise? I just make time. I'm gonna go to the gym after this live stream. That's what I do. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do it. You have to make the time. There's never enough time for anything. You just have to do it. Um, yeah, like right now I'm overloaded. I don't have time for anything right now. That's funny. Super Fox Fly, dude, you live alone in Japan. You don't know my fucking life, bro. I love people who make assumptions. You don't fucking know. You have no fucking idea what's going on in my personal life. Well, the idea of Mehlmanmedical, I mean, that's like I've always done tutoring for the past decade. I've been doing tutoring, but I realized maybe like a few years ago that I could just do my own, right? Like set up a more formal gig. That's kind of how it started. I was at Starbucks one day and I realized that. It just occurred to me. I was like, why not just do my own fucking gig? I could go on a lengthy discussion about it, but that's like, it was November 2019 when I thought about it and I like realized I'm going to start my own site. And I went back home and I instantly started my own site, but it wasn't online. I built the website up, built some content on the website. It wasn't public. And then I launched it, I think maybe like New Year's Day, like 2020. But I didn't have the YouTube till the end of 2020. That's why I like put that out. Did you come up with the channel and come up with the idea on Mehlmanmedical? What the fuck does that mean? Of course, it's my name. It's my, what do you think? Study with Michael's session, half an hour on YouTube will be awesome. I don't have interest. Like, I get enough of that. Like, I teach, like, I mean, when I teach, that's actual work for me. That's work. I could enjoy this type of thing, like live streams, because it's a bit more casual. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll answer dumb questions, don't get me wrong. But there's also intermixed, clearly, like non-medical stuff. You know what I mean? So it's more casual for me. That's, I can like tolerate this. Teaching, it's like I do it. I'm very fucking excellent at it, but it's like that's I consider that work. I wouldn't want to get on, like, I have no interest in doing like live study stuff necessarily. At least right now, it's not my interest. I mean, I put out YouTube MCQs, right? That's your little like 5 minutes a day of like study, isn't it? Like, that I put out. I put out that content daily. Um, LOL, people do that all the time with me, especially people not. What are you talking about, Rachel? What do you mean people do that all the time with you, especially people not in medicine? What are you talking about? Supervlox Fly, do you enjoy Japan? Would you recommend to move there? I mean, I'm a permanent resident now. I've been here 7 years. You know, like I lived in Australia 7 years. There's perks, you know, pros and cons being in different places. Um, you know, I'm more along the lines of like I'm over Japan. That's kind of the irony of getting permanent resident here. It's like I wanted permanent residency for so long, ever since I moved here, and then like right when I got it, I like have already kind of entered the mindset of like, do I even want to like be here longer term? I don't know. If you were to move to Japan, hypothetically though, you would love it. You would absolutely love it because it's a new thing. Anything new, you love. That's how it works. You know, I moved to Australia and I loved living there. And then after 7 years, I was ready to like maybe do something else. And I moved to East Asia, which was completely different. And then now I could do something else, couldn't I? I have no immediate plans to just get up and move, but like I can always come back to Japan as a permanent resident. Rachel, I'm a medical school professor. It's a lot of work. Um, Yeah, I mean, like, it's work. I mean, it's like you take anything that you might enjoy, quote unquote, and then if you do a lot of it, there's certain elements that you start to consider work. Anything. If you're like, well, I really like chess, I'm gonna play chess. It's like, okay, and then you become a professional chess player, and what are you doing? You got to sit and read fucking books, study with the AI, and it's like work. It's actual work. And so a little bit of teaching here and there. Okay, no problem. But like when I have like a big fucking schedule, like and I'm busy, especially like right now, it's I just see it as work. Like I'm not like interested in really getting on a live stream and doing like let's have a fun little tutorial guys for free. Like I'm not. I'm doing this. This is casual. This is fine. This is fine. Hey Mike, micro biostats suck. Only subs that annoy me. Can you give me some idea? Only subjects that annoy you. Can you give me some tips to code? I talked about micro already. Do the high yield dermatology PDF, do my YouTube MCQs on it, and also I have PowerPoints on micro on the YouTube as well. They're 45 minutes. Then biostats have a PDF on it. Also do the MCQs that are biostats from the NBME exams in QBank. You don't know? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, people don't know me, and people make assumptions about my life all the time. Nishad, Mike, appreciate you answering questions. How much stock should we put in our scores dropping on subsequent NBMEs exams? You did 4 forms the other day for a week, dropped 3 points in every one. I've said it doesn't, it's random. If you had just done those forms the opposite direction, you would have gone up 3 points in every one and been happy. So it's random. You didn't drop, it's just random. If you move to another country now, will you lose the permanent residency? The answer is no. That's why it's called permanent residency, is I can just always come back here. There's certain things I have to do. Like I've got a there's certain requirements in terms of like paperwork and things I have to do, but like I never have to reapply for an actual visa here. It's just like it's like a driver's license. Like you apply for like a new driver's license when your card runs out, but like when it expires, but you still have the license, you just get a new card. Like there's requirements like that. Um, let's see, Supervox Play. Thank you for doing what you do these live streams. Do you have time to do clinical work without your teaching? What do you think I fucking do? You think I work clinically? Like, seriously? Bro, I do USMLE full time. Well, not full time. I mean, I could if I wanted to, but my focus is USMLE. Sacred Scout, I'm reading your question right now. I had never heard of that person. Um, yeah, but you're asking about someone's opinion that most chronic illnesses are because of childhood trauma, emotional suppression. I don't think so. I think it's just nature and nurture. There's going to be people, sure, if you have certain traumas that can contribute to lifelong problems, but also there's DNA elements. Some people have crazy fucking, uh, you know, oppressive childhoods, abusive parents, whatever. And then they turn out to be great people. So it's like, it's nature and nurture. Turns passion, Rachel turns from passion to feeling actual work. That's why I've launched my second on business to venture off independent atypical medicine path. Superflex fly. Hey, I'm moving from UK to the USA. Any tips to deal with cultural differences? Yeah, you got to get your guns. So you got to get. I mean, that's what you got to get, right? You're living in the USA. You got to get your guns. All right. I think. Let me see. I'm just gonna end this live stream. Let me go to the gym. That's what I'm gonna do. Hey, Ed, why you hate when men get emotional? Nah, bro. You got things fucking wildly confused right now. You think I care if some other dude gets emotional? Zero to do with that. Zero to do with that. I don't give a fuck what other dudes, whether they get emotional or not. I've just said that, it's on the man needs to be stable. I mean, the man needs to be a rock about things. I've said it's, the female role for the emotions. I don't know where you get this notion of hate from. It's laughable. There we go. Sacred Scout, what do you think of Andrew Tate statement that let's say, what do you think of Andrew Tate's statement that if men struggle with women, it's all his fault, that he simply has to improve through daily hard work? I mean, it's a non-needy perspective, right? It's taking ownership and responsibility for, your own situation. That's pretty much what it is. It's a non-needy proactive mindset that you just take ownership for your own situations. I mean, I don't really know what to say. It's you can blame other people, but the guy just has to, yes, subject himself to consistent adversity, right? The rejections, we talked about that. It's a good facet. And then just work on himself, make sure he stays physically fit, make sure he stays psychologically intact. You're not abusing substances, stuff like that, so you got to just work on yourself so that you're more stable. Nashad, how would you reconcile the hyper competitive nature of medical school with in general being an accommodating person, an accommodating, non-selfish person? I think medicine is in terms of actual propriety, you have to be hyper conformist to excel in the medical environment. That's pretty much what it is. So I don't know if it's about you say non-selfish. Well, that aspect will help you in medicine, right? You say competitive as though you need to one up other people. You don't need to actively one up anybody. You can be a good person and get through medicine. Hyper competitive, I mean, that's unrelated to you being quote unquote non-selfish. Getting through medicine is about being conformist, right? It's about being a supplicating beta, pretty much. That's how getting through medicine works. And so competitive just means grades, doesn't it? And you're talking about if it's like getting a letter or something, well, you're not going to be following the attending around, bugging him or her. You're going to be, a good member of a team helping the intern. I've talked about that extensively as well. So competitive in medicine is just grades, and then which has nothing to do with your personality. And then it's just a matter of, well, when we talk about the MCQ stuff, at least the actual written exams. But then it's about being a supplicating beta when you're on rotations and just helping everyone you can, being a nice person. And that's how you're going to get through med school. Guys, I'm going to head to the gym. That's what I'm going to do. All right. Obviously, I'll do more of these live streams. See you guys tomorrow.